Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. This is James J. with my new co-host Mitch Mayhem, and this is Wrestling with Entertainment.
Entertainment.
How are you, Mitch?
Hey man, what's up? I'm doing okay. How about you, James?
I'm good. One Roman Reigns down today. Coleco is hitchhiking to WrestleMania. So if you see him on the side of the street somewhere between California and New York, give him a lift.
Yeah, man, be a friend.
Yeah. Hashtag walk with Coleco.
Ah, he's gonna have a blast there. I don't know if he's ever been to WrestleMania Access to WrestleMania weekend or not,
Yeah,
but
he's been.
oh, he has. Okay, yeah,
Yeah. But we're probably not going to see him for like a month, considering how long WrestleMania is.
yeah, right.
And
Be
I
lucky
only
to
heard
see him
like
by
it's
next year.
getting longer this year.
Oh, true. They had to take the belt off Oscar to put it to basically scrunch it into that main event women's match
Yeah,
to cut off matches. Yeah, they were trying
yeah,
to cut matches
yeah. I
off.
mean, if you can't fit an Oscar match in 17 hours, I mean,
Come on.
yeah,
I know. Oscar, really? You don't have a spot for Oscar? Wow. Okay.
yeah, yeah. You have a 17-hour show, but no, can't fit Oscar in it.
Not your most talented, like in the ring physical female. Okay.
Yeah. Um. uh. Last week's show, no thumbs down. We actually got one thumbs up. So we're
All
getting there.
right.
We are growing. We are getting to a place that's pretty cool.
Hey man,
So we appreciate that.
That Mitch Mayhem glow may be rubbed off on us. Nah, I'm just glad to be part of the show and onward and upward.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's start it. World Wrestling with the New Japan Cup. Uh, when we last covered the New Japan Cup, we had three matches left. Okada defeated Ishii with the Rainmaker. Uh,
Uh huh.
After the match, Ishii raised Okada's hand, and they had a pretty cool moment in the middle of the ring, which is it's pretty cool because Ishii don't do that for anybody.
No, no. But Okada's the Rainmaker, man. He's the godfather of NJPW. If Ishii's gonna bow to anyone, it's Okada.
Yeah, they're staple mates, and
Exactly.
Ishii gave him that respect, and respect that he didn't give Yoshihashi in the round before that.
Japan is very, like, if you've never seen or been to Japan, it's hard to understand unless you experience it yourself. It's very different
Yeah,
in terms of it's just completely different over there. Respect is earned, and it's a like case by case situation. So it's kind of like it's the ultimate. It's the ultimate proving ground. It's the ultimate you've earned my respect kind of thing. If someone just gives you a like someone like Ishii gives you a thumbs up
yeah. Do
in
you
the
think
Japanese
that
culture.
Yoshihashi didn't earn Ishii's respect yet?
No, I don't. I don't. It's hard to.
Yeah,
So no, no.
but that was
He'll
a
get.
plain
He can
answer.
get there. He. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, like he can get there. I see him eventually earning his respect, but not this early. It's gonna take a few more years at least.
Yeah, yeah. He's just when they say we don't set the bar, we are the bar. Ishii is the bar.
He's definitely one of them. I don't know if I would call him the bar, but he's definitely extremely talented.
Next match is Sonata defeated Tanahashi with the Skull End. They still had a pretty good, decent match. The crowd was hot for Sonata, considering that they were in his hometown.
Yeah, we talked about this last week.
Yeah,
Coleco is right, man. And Sonata, he had, man, I thought, like, just by watching it, even though I knew the outcome, I thought, wow, they were teasing a possible like Sonata win. Like they were trying to warm up the crowd with, maybe we're gonna go with this guy. So I
Yeah,
think eventually down the road they might pull the trigger on him.
it was a really strong showing of Sonata, and I think if this was any other year go leading into Sakura Genesis, which they're not doing this year. They're going into Madison Square Garden at the G1
Right, the
Supercard,
G1.
which is
Yep.
such a big show. I think
Hmm.
if this was any other year, Sakura Genesis, they would have pulled the trigger on Sonata and gave him that match against Jay White. But as
But
Coleco says, it's timing.
yes, and as we touched on last week, with all of the talent leaving and everything, they need an established like hero like Okada to take the mantle and reestablish himself and NJPW as a elite tier wrestling uh, program. So
Yeah, and I mean,
they
uh,
need that big name right now.
me and Kaliko talked about it. The biggest match to give Madison Square Garden was either Tanahashi or Okada. And obviously they went with Okada, considering Tanahashi was the last guy that wrestled Jay White.
Right.
Yeah. So, again, it's just timing. If this was Sakura Genesis, it would have been a different story.
Yeah, everything's timing. So, like I said, but they did tease that later on in the future that they could pull the trigger on him. So
Yeah,
look forward to it. He definitely has a bright future for sure.
without a doubt. Okada defeated Sonata with the Rainmaker, stamping his ticket to New York for Madison Square Garden G1
Hmm.
Supercard. And Okada goes 5-0 against Sonata. They've had 5 matches. Okada's won all 5.
Hmm.
So when Sonata actually does beat Okada, it's gonna be a big deal.
Right, right. Kind of like with the Kenny Omega win over Okada.
Yeah,
No one was expecting it, especially then.
and as cool as that is, Shibata, Katsuyori Shibata was on commentary, and Okada went to him and shook his hand. And afterwards,
Uh,
you could
I
see
didn't catch
this
them.
on New Japan's official English site. His
Right.
backstage comments. Okada actually broke down and was starting crying, talking about Shibata.
Hmm.
Uh,
Interesting.
because we never really got. Uh, Obviously, Okada was Sabata's last match, and it was
Right.
2 years ago. Sabata was the hottest thing going. He won the New Japan Cup and wrestled Okada, and then it just abruptly ended for Sabata.
Well, because of all the huge, like the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, AJ Styles, Farrell Devitt, now obviously known as Finn Balor, people like that who came in NJPW and kind of took over the scene. So there wasn't much room back to Nakamura, you
Yeah,
know.
dude, he
So,
got a brain hemorrhage.
huh?
Sabata
Oh
got a
yeah, well,
brain hemorrhage.
yeah, no, I mean, but still, like it's hard for anyone, whether you're injured or you're not, to get yourself over with all those names that were coming in and being like
Well, he was the
highlighted.
hottest
So
thing going at that point, and it was
yeah,
going
but
into like the first ever Long Beach special. People were fired up to see Sabata, and then his career just abruptly ended.
yeah, you're right. Absolutely, that definitely threw cold water on his run and what could have been. Definitely, but
Yeah,
but like I said, with him returning and coming, like I said, right now might be a good time for him with all of the talent leaving. So all of that, that huge tornado that happened. Now, if he can get back to how he was before that injury somehow, um,
I just don't
I
want
don't
him to get
know.
hurt again.
Oh, I don't think anyone wants
Yeah,
that. But I understand the wrestler mentality. You're not gonna quit wrestling unless
yeah,
someone forces you to, and that's just the facts.
and it's at that point where he's just forcing him. I think definitely he wants to go back in the ring.
They're
But
probably holding him back.
safety-wise,
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like the wisest decision.
like I said, wrestlers don't think with their brains when it comes to getting in the ring. They think with their heart.
Without a doubt.
So there's no option. Like it's always they're gonna do it. You have to be the governor on them, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's just interesting because we've never got Okada's perspective being the last ever match against Sabata. And I think this really showed how he felt about that match and that time, breaking down and crying like that. You don't see this side of Okada a lot.
No, he's very like cool, calm, and collected. I don't think I've ever seen him shed a tear, honestly.
He cried once when he lost to Tanahashi at
not the way
Wrestle Kingdom.
Not the way you're describing it, like a full out, like kind of not breakdown, but to where you can see him visibly like weeping.
Yeah. And after
I don't think I've seen that.
After his backstage comments, they went to Sabata for comments, and Sabata was like, "Dude, it's okay. Hey, I'm alive. That's all. You don't need to cry for me." Which is such a cool thing to say.
Well, also, like I didn't catch certain parts like we've been over, and I got to catch up on the NJPW. But the Japan to English translation gets screwed up. It really does. So sometimes you don't know what you're really like, if that's really what they meant or not.
Well, no, he's referring to his promo, like when he came back for G1, I think. He came back in the ring and he said, "I'm alive. That's all."
Oh, okay. I thought you were okay. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and
I thought you meant like subtitles.
No.
Okay.
And then he was like, "You don't need to cry for me, Okada. I'm okay."
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. I remember that.
So that wraps up our coverage of the New Japan Cup. It was a long and crazy ride. I'm hoping to do it again for Super Juniors. Hopefully Super Juniors has commentary this year, which was definitely a bitch last year.
Yeah, you say that. I need to catch up on my NJPW for sure. I've definitely been, especially with all the stuff that's been going on in the wrestling world, I've been fixated on the World WWE and the AEW stuff going on.
Well, it's a big time for WWE right now.
It's a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah. So let's get to that. World Wrestling with WrestleMania preview. There is a lot of matches. There's a lot of things going on, and a lot of matches that have yet to be announced. But let's start from the top. Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair.
Well, it's obvious what everyone wants to see, and that's Becky Lynch. And then you got Ronda possibly leaving after this but I see Vince wanting to throw a monkey wrench in it and maybe having Ronda win. Like Brock Lesnar the last 2 times at WrestleMania when he was going into WrestleMania with everyone saying, "Oh, his contract's up, so he's for sure not coming back." It's kind of like that. I think I smell a switch in the air. I really do.
I agree with that, but I was siding more with Charlotte. I was thinking Ronda leaves, Charlotte gets the belt.
I was about to say that, but then in my head I started thinking about the last one, and it started at 31. I remember watching 31 thinking, there's no way Brock's going to win because he will not re-sign. Little did I know, he re-signed right before he walked out the curtain.
Yeah, but Seth won the championship that time.
So you're right, and I'm just saying, like, it goes back to the Brock Lesnar, like I said, when I saw that, and I just thought of Becky, this main event coming up, I just thought maybe they're gonna replicate that because everyone's gonna think that Ronda's on her way out. So maybe they
Doesn't
might.
Ronda have like a 3-4 year contract? She's not like
Yeah. Okay. When I
anywhere near
say
gone.
no, 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 no. Now let me restate that. When I say on her way out, I mean she's gonna in WWE already gave her the go ahead. Ric Flair accidentally leaked this about 8 months ago that she wanted to have a family and have family time with her husband Travis and maybe have a kid, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like an 8 month to year break. She's still on contract until I believe 2022. I'm not sure on that. I'll make sure later. But she's locked up, but she wants to take a break. And that's what everyone is like, the scuttlebutt. Like, that's what all the rumors are saying. And so, Vince, in the past, what he likes to do is he likes to hear whatever rumors are going on. He will switch his big matches, the outcome of them, depending on rumors. Like, just like the WrestleMania 31 when Seth Rollins came out.
Yeah.
So.
And Ronda would need a really good lawyer to get out of that contract because I don't see WWE letting her go anytime soon.
No, like I said, she's just going to take a break. She doesn't want to go, and WWE doesn't want to let her go. Yeah. So they're going to be working together for a very long time. If she, quote, leaves, end quote, it's just for an 8 month to year, maybe less situation where she just has some family time to make a family.
Possibly getting rebranded to SmackDown because I heard rumors that Fox wants her on the new SmackDown.
Fox wants a lot, basically the main names. Yeah. So if it was up to Fox, like they would all jump to SmackDown would be the A show, and Raw would be the B show in terms of talent.
Well, they're paying them a lot of money. So that's a good reason to make SmackDown the A show. And
yeah, but okay. So here, let me give this to you. All right. So Raw has been ingrained in our brains as the #1 show since it was incepted, right? Since 1993. Yeah. Okay, and so in '99, SmackDown comes along. And for at least 10 years, it was hard to even get it on even ground with Raw. We are, in our minds, it is engraved that Raw is A and SmackDown is B. And now that it's shifting to where the bigger network is getting the old B show, it's just interesting to me if the Office is going to fight it, if they're going to go with it. I don't know, because Raw has been their #1 brand for so long. And I want to see how they. Yeah, I just want to see how they walk that tightrope. Personally.
Yeah, perception-wise, Raw was always the main show, but
more than perception-wise, they said it a lot of times.
But in fans' eyes, I know like a lot of people prefer SmackDown.
Sure.
More so now, with SmackDown being 2 hours and Raw being 3 hours.
And with the creative you got different people in creative in SmackDown, and you could tell, you can see on the shows, you can see the difference.
Without a doubt. Now, speaking of contracts, like we was with Ronda, Becky just signed a new contract with WWE. Rumored to be for more money for a longer duration.
Yeah, I know the time. I know how long it is. It's a 5-year contract.
How long is it?
I just said it's a 5-year contract.
Okay.
5 years. So she's locked in for at least 5 years, and she has option. So when that 5 years runs up, they have an option to pick her contract up for 6 months, kind of thing. Yeah.
And I mean, it seems like all roads lead to Becky Lynch in this match. Like, the people would be super duper pissed if she lost this match. And if you want to send your crowd home happy, Becky Lynch would be the goal to get them there.
Yeah, but I think to myself, it's not just the main event match with Becky. You got Kofi and Bryan. That's kind of the same thing going on with Kofi.
Yes.
Everyone's wanting Kofi. Kofi is the um, 2014 Daniel Bryan. He just is.
Yes, he is. You're absolutely right
They're,
about that.
they're Control V, Control C'ing this whole thing, copy and pasting.
Yeah, but
Yep.
you have two underdog stories. They have to give us at least one, and I don't see them giving Kofi Kingston the championship.
And I know I'll think of it because I got so much on my mind right now. And starting next week, I promise I'm going to start taking notes. But
Please.
yeah, right. Yeah, there's at least three matches that where the face should win. The further around, the fan base for the face to win is there. So I don't see all three faces winning that
match?
though. That's what I'm trying. For some reason I'm having a brain fart on it. I'll figure it out pretty soon.
Yeah, before the show ends, man.
Oh, Seth Rollins and Lesnar.
Okay.
Yeah, so you want to see everyone wants to see Seth beat Brock. Everyone wants to see Becky beat Ronda and Charlotte, and everyone wants to see Kofi beat Bryan. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to have three face? I don't think you can. And I think that's where Vince throws a monkey wrench in one of them, in one of the big ones.
Okay, so I have these are my predictions. Kofi loses, okay. Seth wins, Charlotte wins, and then you get the something bad, something good, something in the middle.
Right. Here's my prediction. And despite what I said, what I said earlier was a what if. Like, I have a sneaking suspicion Vince might do that. Doesn't mean I want it to happen. Yeah. I'm going to say Becky. I'm going to say Daniel Bryan, but that leads into something afterwards to where Kofi will win it, but not now. And I'm going to say Seth.
So you're going two faces and one heel.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll get Coleco's opinion on this hopefully next week. Hopefully he'll be at WrestleMania next week, done hitchhiking.
I was gonna say.
Coleco.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was just gonna say, yeah, we might be able to get a hold of Coleco next week at WrestleMania. He might be at the NXT event, in fact, so that would be interesting.
I think the only one we agree on is Seth winning.
Yeah, that might be. Yeah. And as we go down the card, like, if a lot of the matches haven't been announced yet officially, and a lot of them won't be. Like the Battle Royal, it'll just happen.
Yeah. No, I heard that 26 people were announced for the Battle Royal.
And there will be at least 4 more. I think 30 is the limit.
I was thinking like 10 more, but
it might be. It might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The headline news this week was that WrestleMania will be headlined by this triple threat women's match.
Yes, it is.
It will go on last. And yes, from a Heat's perspective, this is the hottest match, and yeah, it should go on last. But
absolutely,
the other thing about it, I don't feel that's the reason that they put this match on for last, because if it was going to go on last, they would have just put it on last and deal with the publicity afterwards. They announced it beforehand to get good publicity beforehand.
This is an issue I've got to walk very gently on because it's a very tricky one. Right now in our society, it's like you got to watch everything you say because people twist what you say, and there's people out there that they don't care, they just want to make trouble, and then there's people. Right. And then there's people that are they're snowflakes. They say that they are offended by any little thing. Every little thing offends them. So, yeah. So, I'm after the Me Too movement, and I was a definite backer, of the women who were, that really happened to. But there were a lot of women who came out of that, and other women said this too, that were using that. And I think in this time in our culture right now, it's more about the optics. They want to see. They just want to throw out. Yeah, we're gonna put the women first, even though it earned it. I think it earned its right to be the main event. I mean, on last.
Yeah, no, I'm not discrediting it that it's not going to be. It doesn't deserve that spot.
And I hear what you're saying, right?
But they discredit it for publicly announcing beforehand that it's going on last, just so they could get positive feedback on it.
Right, and that's WWE for you. They care more about their public image than they do about their product.
Yeah.
Or their fans enjoying their product. Yeah. Because
it comes off ungenuine.
Well, that's because they're a publicly traded company. They have to go by corporate rules, and that holds you back a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
And one thing we didn't touch on yet is that Charlotte won the WWE Women's Championship seemingly out of nowhere.
Yeah, if we didn't talk about that. I started the show bringing up the fact that they basically consolidated it to where they only had to where they didn't have to book Asuka, and they were gonna have Mandy win the 4-way, and Mandy was gonna face Asuka, I believe, in like the pre-show.
Yeah, well, that would have been drizzling shits.
Oh, that would have been the shits, right? Thank you. Yeah, definitely. But that's what the plan was, and so they were looking at the list. Like basically, like what can we cut? What can we put together? So, so I guess Asuka's in the women's battle royal now. I guess.
I don't know what that leads Asuka.
My new when I had the person I talked to, they didn't have any insight on that. They didn't know where Asuka was going, like her where she goes next. Yeah, her direction.
Well, I mean, it's not like they used Asuka a lot since she won the championship. Like, we only got...
Not at all.
Yeah. You have a champion, you don't want to promote her, but you gave her the championship.
You know what it does? It reminds... I feel like maybe it's something to do with Vince not liking Japanese people, because he did the same thing to Shinsuke Nakamura, remember?
Yeah.
Shinsuke won the United States title, did nothing for 8 months? Nothing!
But that's, but you could argue that's just why they used the United States Championship.
Not one storyline.
Because you haven't seen the United States Champion in forever. Like, who's the United States Champion right now?
I don't know, and that's because it's Vince McMahon's fault. He has shit on that title more times than I can count, and John Cena had it to where it was going over the it had more hype than some of maybe even the Intercontinental title and the main title at one time. And they just crapped all over it. Like, I don't understand that. They completely took all value out of that title.
I don't feel like any of the titles really have any value anymore.
They used to anymore. Their keyword, yeah.
They're just at this point.
Because over time, their complacent product of just go with the flow has destroyed the fans' ability to enjoy, because nothing gets changed. It's all the same every week. There's no why do people win, and what's their motivation? And that's why I'm hyped about AEW, because wins are gonna matter. It's gonna be highlighted as a sport instead of just you're gonna have a match and it's not gonna matter afterwards. You know?
Well, it seems like a lot of other companies have wins and losses matter, especially in Ring of Honor, and the New Japan, the IWGP World Championship. When that belt is defended, it's a big deal. And that's the biggest belt and the most prestigious prize in wrestling, because they present it that way.
Exactly. Yeah, bingo. You just stole it from me. That's exactly right, because they present it that way. And because NJPW books their TV their storylines at least a year in advance. So this is all stuff that they are putting, every show, they have a plan. In WWE, they're going by the seat of their pants. They don't have a plan.
If they know what they're doing on Monday, that Monday, without rewriting the script that night, I'd be surprised.
And real quick though, I'll tell you why they are like that. Because since they beat WCW, they haven't had to look back. They could do what they want. They could screw up and still be number one. And now they're finally giving it an effort because AEW threw their money in there. See, that competition matters. That's why. Because it makes the other people, like the big kahuna, so to speak, it makes them wake up and start doing things right, or at least trying.
Yeah, but those couple years after WCW went over was some pretty entertaining shit, and they had some great matches. It just seems like
Yeah.
the last 5 years of WWE
Uh,
has
well,
been
no.
like coasting through.
Yeah, okay. That what you just said is kind of like okay. It's like when a president is elected and it's replacing another president. It's kind of like that. Like when WCW went down, it took 2 to 3 years before the WWE product also started going down because they had a momentum on their side. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that pushed them like it did WCW for a good 2 to 3 years.
yeah.
So, and then the people who were responsible for the good storylines started dwindling, and all of this stupid hornswoggle, Santino crap started popping up, and you started seeing the ratings go down, and going down until today. You know?
Hey, don't you disparage the great name of Hornswoggle McMahon. He is Vince McMahon's son.
I love Dylan. Dylan's an awesome guy. I've met Dylan. Why I hate that, what happened is because that night, they had the opportunity to make a star in Ken Kennedy. I was raving for it. Dude, Kennedy was a star. I don't care what anyone says. He was a star in WWE. And he was ready for it. All Vince needed to do was put the ball in his hand. And yeah, I know some backstage shit happened, but I also think that forces behind the scenes were against him in the WWE. I mean, Hunter was against him, didn't like him.
John Cena and Randy Orton.
There you go. And those names. If they don't like you, odds are you're not going to have a very long career in the WWE.
And you could maybe get past that if you have like a good attitude, but he has.
But Kennedy, yeah. Finish. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that if he had a better attitude and accept the attitude that he has, considering what we know about him, he could have got past that.
Right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wanted you to finish your thought. I accidentally cut in on you. Didn't mean to.
Yeah, no.
But that weighs on me. So whenever I think of Hornswoggle, I think of like what they could have done that night. That could have been an iconic night, and they just threw it away.
Yeah. The next thing we could talk about the Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte match is the actual rivalry. This has been a roller coaster.
Oh my god.
If you want to go back to Survivor Series, yeah, but I'm going from Royal Rumble, when Becky actually won the Royal Rumble after losing the Women's Championship opportunity to Asuka, replacing an injured Lana, switching to Raw, losing her opportunity, Charlotte getting the opportunity, Ronda leaving, Ronda coming back, Becky coming back, and then the championship match between Becky and Charlotte becomes a number one contenders match. So this has just been all over the place.
A complete mess. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some weeks it's good, but some weeks it's really bad.
Like I said, I think like they were going with the fans' reaction and just piecing it together as they went. They're doing that too much. And with the Charlotte thing, like interjecting Charlotte, they didn't know what like. And Becky brought it up in like I think not meaning to, but she brought it up in an interview, or when she was working, and she said something to the effect of, "I won the Royal Rumble. Ronda's got the world title. what the hell are you here for? And I think that kind of woke Vince up and thought, and made him think like, oh crap, like what have I done? So like I think that's why the title all of a sudden went to Charlotte. I think it dawned on him, oh crap, it doesn't make sense for Charlotte. Like, why did I put Charlotte in? It makes no sense story wise unless
Well, initially I
I put
kind
the
of
title
thought
on her.
Charlotte was brought into the match just to take the fall, so Becky could pin Charlotte and
See,
not Ronda.
no, no. After last year, I learned not to think that. When everyone thought Asuka was going to just run right through Charlotte, and I was one of the people who predicted Charlotte would win
Mm.
last year. Uh, so I no, I don't bet. In fact, I wouldn't bet against the Charlotte idea that you floated out there.
Yeah.
There is all possible ways it could go, but like I said, I and many other people want to see Becky win.
Well, that was the initial thought, but now with as we said, the three babyface matches, Ronda leaving, and Charlotte would make sense for them to go that way, just because she's the face of the company.
Right, and she like you have to okay if you're gonna have a main event, a women's main event, um, in WrestleMania or anything, you okay. Charlotte is or was, in my opinion, the best female talent until Becky came up, up in terms of her character, and now I think they're head and head. So you've got to have those two women in that match, and I understand Ronda's their highlight girl.
Yeah.
So yeah, to me it wouldn't be a proper female main event without Charlotte in it. And so in that retrospect, I like the three-way. I just don't like how Charlotte was put into it.
Yeah,
It was no thinking behind it. Yeah.
A lot of WWE stuff is there's no thinking about it.
Okay.
Fun fact, all three women in the main event are younger than WrestleMania itself.
Oh yeah.
They were all born before WrestleMania was a thing, and that's the first time ever that actually happened.
You want to know a fun fact? I'm officially as old as WrestleMania. I was born a month before. I was born on February 16th, 1984. A year later, and a year and a month later, and what was it, March 31st, something like that.
It was March
Was
31st,
WrestleMania
I
one?
think. Yeah.
Yeah, then that was yeah. So so whenever uh WrestleMania 35, whatever number WrestleMania it is, that's how old I am.
Damn, you're old.
Thanks, buddy.
So, yeah, my first WrestleMania was WrestleMania 20, so I'm a little late to the party.
Oh wow, yeah, my first WrestleMania that I watched live on TV while it happened was WrestleMania 9, and I was 8 years old.
I was around the
Yeah.
same age when I watched WrestleMania 20. That was the first ever
Okay.
WrestleMania I watched live. Uh,
You're
uh,
young.
I rem- I remember when Eddie Guerrero wrestled Brock Lesnar at No Way Out. I really wanted to get that paid preview to see the match, and my grandfather was like,
Yeah,
"We
that's
can't get
awesome.
that paid preview. We have to get
Uh,
WrestleMania." Huh. And I was like, "What's WrestleMania?"
I know. It's crazy that before 2014, if you wanted to watch a wrestling pay per view, you had to shell out at least $30, dude. It was just
Yeah,
crazy.
and it's even more now. Like at the end of the
If
paid
you pay
preview,
for pay per view, I don't know anyone who pays for actual pay per view anymore. They do apps. They go on the wrestling apps.
yeah, um, paid preview at the end of it was WrestleMania was like $55.
Oh, back in the day, I don't know how I around when you started in it around 20. I think it was around $40.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like at the end of it, like 29, because that was the last WrestleMania without the WWE Network. Yeah, it was around 55
Yeah.
bucks, $50. So it got
Yeah.
inflated.
Yeah. That's you know why, and that's not WWE. That's the pay per view distributor. They're getting desperate because they knew they were losing WWE because of the network, so
Yeah,
they hiked up the price because they don't get but a small cut out of that.
yeah.
WWE gets most of it. So if they hike the price up, they get more. You know, and,
And like a
yeah,
lot of the pay per view,
greedy capitalists.
yeah, and a lot of the pay per views WWE now are like shit shows, and like I wouldn't pay like the $40 that I used to pay for them.
It's a ripoff. Back then it was a ripoff, but at least back then they had great creative people writing storylines back there to at least make it come off like you were getting your money's worth,
Well,
or
there
it was
was
worth it.
back in the day there was a couple of pay per views that wasn't the big four that you could watch, and they were quality pay per
Uh,
views. You got your money's worth.
my friend, you missed the, in my opinion, the greatest era of wrestling ever. The Monday Night Wars between '95 and 2001. And those were the best shows, pay per views and normal. Every Monday was, honest to God, a Super Bowl. It felt like the Super Bowl every Monday night.
You're absolutely
It was,
right. I've gone
it was
back
nuts.
and watched those, and they were absolutely phenomenal.
Right, and as a 12, 13-year-old kid around 95, or I was 12 and 96, uh, 12, 13, going on 13, and uh, that whole era, it like made me. There, you could watch one of the say WWE, and then see Rick Rude, or see Rick Rude on it, and then see Rick Rude on WCW right after you switch the channel. It was the craziest thing. It was the Wild Wild West back then,
Yeah,
and yeah, and it was just the greatest thing. Every Monday, it was a huge hype fest for a wrestling fan because every Monday you knew it was going to be a pay per view quality show on both well, on at least WWE's end.
yeah. Uh, I'm not into Viagra on the pole matches.
Whoa, really? Wait, you don't like Judy Bagwell on a pole match? How dare you?
Uh, well, if it was
And
uh
that was the Vince Russo era. That was after
yeah, but
Bischoff.
like
But we'll go into that later. Yeah.
yeah, that don't need to talk about WCW. They're dead. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, when I went back to watch those shows, I was like, whoa, this happened that week, and this happened the very next week, and then this happened the
Yeah.
3 weeks after that, and this happened after this pay per view. It's just like,
It was like it was like I said, it was like the pay per views. They were just another show because every Monday you got a pay per view. You got
yeah,
at least two, at least an attempt from WCW. Yeah, and before they got Russo in '99, they had some good pay per views. They did. I mean, even with the botch of there was 1997 Starcade, there was a botch at the end, but the overall storyline of Sting and Hogan and Sting overcoming it, I didn't. I loved it so much. I didn't care about the screw ups. I really didn't. So yeah. But
well,
anyways,
yeah. Let's get to the next match that I'd like to cover.
uh,
Kofi versus Daniel Bryan. This is definitely maybe the second, third biggest match on the card,
there. Yeah.
and just the way that they've been promoting it, and the storyline leading up has been really good for WWE standards, anyway.
Sorry about that. Your audio cut out, and I thought I lost you for a second. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I'm saying that the Kofi and Daniel Bryan rivalry is pretty good considering on WWE standards.
Right, by WWE standards, and like I said, it's basically a copy and paste of Daniel Bryan in 2014.
Yeah,
The underdog, like basically everyone behind him to where they think, oh, they can't deny us this. Every week, Vince denies it. Vince denies it, and then finally he gets his opportunity in storylines.
yeah,
Like just always the yeah. In fact, the original plan was uh, Kofi and Bryan at Fastlane and Kevin Owens and Bryan at WrestleMania, and they switched it up.
yeah, and not taking away from Kofi, because Kofi is a phenomenal competitor and he definitely deserves this. But it kind of seems like they had no idea what they were going to do for this championship match, and Kofi kind of just fell in their lap. Uh, uh,
They had
it
they
could have
had no
been
idea what.
Mustafa Ali. It could have been Kevin Owens. If those matches actually happened, I don't know if it would have been as big.
Right, and the injury of Mustafa Ali when he was going to get his shot is the only reason we're here talking about Kofi Kingston. If
You're
that didn't
absolutely
happen,
right.
Kofi wouldn't have a shot. So the weirdest, like you said, it's all about timing. Little things can happen here and change the whole dynamic.
Yeah, and yeah, the WWE Championship seems like a sleeper belt at this time. Like it should be this should be the main event of WrestleMania, considering the WWE Championship's lineage and how big it is. But they've buried this belt so that far down at this point.
Right, and like we were discussing earlier, in my opinion, their most of their belts, except for the Intercontinental belt, have lost all of their prestige. And at this point, they need a big name to put the belt on to get the belts back up to the prestige they once had, or write better damn storylines.
But well, we all hope that they write better storylines, but
Well,
like you can't depend on
AEW,
that light.
yeah, AEW is going to keep their foot to the fire, thank God. And hello,
Yeah,
hello.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying AEW is going to put their foot to the fire and keep their foot to the fire. Competition breeds, uh, an atmosphere of doing their best, and that's when WWE did their best, or WWF back then against WCW. That's when they did their best, and that I believe we're going into another period like that because WWE's complacency was what the problem. That was the problem. And now they're gonna realize that they need longer term planning. I hope at least is if Vince starts like getting advice from people that aren't yes men.
Yeah.
um, yeah, they need to start thinking long term. Stop the um, Monday morning quarterbacking type booking where they're just booking it on the fly 4 hours before the show. Uh, they need more structure if they're going to get back to where they were. And if they don't, AEW is going to start taking market share away from them, from the
Well,
audience, of the audience.
yeah, like you said, this definitely felt like it was drawn together like a month ago, which it was.
If that would be nice, or that would be we would be we would be very nice by saying just a month ago. It might have been sooner than that,
Yeah. Uh,
honestly.
yeah, Fastlane, and
Right? Yeah.
it's cool to have. I think they're doing this rivalry right, having Vince McMahon sprinkle his Vince McMahon dust on Kofi, and kind of get him from that mid card tag team guy to a main event player, which he isn't yet, in my opinion.
That's because like okay, and we're going back to something you already said about it's my word optics, like the optics of it, or how it's the context of certain things. Vince is he owns everything. So if he wants certain people to succeed, all he's got to do is write it in the damn plans.
Yeah,
It's not that hard. He has held back certain people like Cesaro. Cesaro should be a superstar right now. I believe he has held him back. Um, Kofi, obviously, the fans have kind of like the Daniel Bryan thing. They, I think it's to a point where no matter what Vince thinks, the fans are going to accept it kind of situation.
yeah. And to your point when you talked about Cesaro, yeah, Cesaro got held down, but I feel that
Silly.
Vince gave him an opportunity to get on that mic and talk and plead his
But
case, and he completely fucked it up. Uh,
But then after his injury, he came back better than ever because Vince called him out on Stone Cold podcast, and Cesaro, you know how he responded to it? He walked into Vince's office and said, "Okay, challenge accepted, Vince," and he made himself better. And after that, he was never given the proper opportunity to run. He wasn't given angles. He was teamed
But
up.
right,
He was given that Sheamus thing, right away.
yeah, but right after that, he had that promo on
Right.
Raw, and he said, "I'm the best in these four ropes, those four corners," and that just killed him. Oh, like
Okay.
it was okay. It was a decent enough promo, but
Like
that
I
him just taking that time to explain that just fucked him up completely.
like I said, that was before the story I just told you about how Vince called him out on the Stone Cold podcast. That was before that, and
No,
ever
that was
since that,
afterwards.
that was after. Oh wow, okay, then I'm wow. Okay, well, since his was that since he came back from injury?
He's had a lot of injuries.
Okay, when he came back, uh, when he started doing the James Bond thing, right when he started doing that and tearing the suit off.
Yeah, that was a long time afterwards, if I'm not
I think it
mistaken.
was 2017.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
and that
Well,
was and the
at a
podcast interview was in 16, if I'm not mistaken. So about a year later.
right, right. Okay. Well, recently I still like Cesaro. I don't care what anyone says. He's
Well,
to me, I think he's a star and he just needs the opportunity now. He's got it all, in my opinion.
I like Cesaro too, but like he gets opportunities and he botches them, in my opinion. It's nothing
I don't see
against him.
that. Yeah, to me, I don't see that. He's right now he's stuck in tag team that tag team warp.
Yeah,
When Vince puts a tag team together, like if you're two singles guys put together as tag team, oh man, it's so hard to get over because he doesn't respect tag teams. He just doesn't,
he
and
doesn't,
he doesn't see tag teams as a big draw. He sees them as mid card at best.
without a doubt.
So right. So when when you get put together like that, you know right away what Vince thinks of you, and he's been stuck. Even though the Bar is one of the best teams, and if not, like maybe the best in the ring, and uh, they are both superb. Sheamus is on his way out, and so I feel like it's still a
But that's because
weight
of injuries,
tied on
not
Cesaro
because of
ankle.
age or anything.
Right, that's injury. No, no. What I'm saying is that, but Cesaro, he's been in this same gimmick for over 2 years, maybe longer. Before that, they had him with Tyson Kidd, and like after the whole Honor the Giant win and the Heyman and all that stuff, like, and he, I'll give it to you, he was not his A+ self then. He just wasn't, and he'll tell you that. But after that, he started getting his shit together, in my opinion. And you gotta give a guy like that, and there's others that I can name. It's not just him. You gotta give him a opportunity. And when I say that, I mean like you gotta give them a storyline. You gotta give them ways to shine, not just go out wrestle and come back, because people are getting tired of that.
Yeah. And but to your point, like afterwards he shined. Vince already might made his mind up about him, so it didn't matter. Like a lot of times I hear on Bruce Pritchard's podcast, Vince McMahon made up his mind, and it don't matter what he does afterwards, he still sees him as that.
Correct. But there are a very few who have changed Vince McMahon's opinion, even though it's extremely hard, uh, their opinion of the person when they first met. The greatest example of that is Mick Foley. He hated Mick Foley at first.
Oh, without a
He didn't
doubt.
see any. He didn't see anything in Mick at all until he got to know the real guy behind the character,
Yeah.
and
So
that's when it clicked. Yeah. So
we're talking about the Kofi Daniel Bryan match for the championship. Um,
right, just real quick, I'm sorry. I was trying to tie that together. And to me, Kofi, he's got that a quality to him that Mick does, that personable quality.
yeah. And
So yeah,
this the WWE title's been in like flux these last couple months.
couple
But
months.
yeah, well, AJ Styles had the belt, so it was kind of he was the champion. And I was just thinking, wouldn't have
That's
AJ
what I was thinking.
Styles versus Randy Orton be a bigger match than what this match is for the championship?
Say that again. Are you trying to say if the title was involved?
Yeah, if it was AJ Styles versus Randy Orton for the
Huh.
WWE Championship.
Okay. Um. Yeah, I think that would be a really good match. But I'll tell you why. Okay, when you have so much fervor behind someone like Kofi and you don't listen, I think you're telling people you're out of touch. Vince doesn't want to look out of touch, so he's gonna go with what people want. See what I'm saying?
That's true, but
Right now,
like
because there's everybody.
they haven't gone with the crowd wanted in
Well,
a really long time. Like Zack Ryder was like the hottest thing, and then they just buried him.
right, but it got to a point like the Occupy Raw kind of thing where like people said, if if you literally drop the ball on this, we will stop watching. And
Yeah,
people started doing that, exactly that. And I think, it, okay, well, no, I don't know this, but Vince better realize that if he doesn't start listening in certain aspects, and I see way like he's starting to in terms of like he'll, in the past months or weeks how he teased Kofi to get into or earn his spot, and then he took it away from him, and
yeah,
that's just old school heel. That's just a great heel move right away. But if he doesn't like listen in situations and like Danny Bryan and this one, Kofi Kingston, when you have so much fervor and so much momentum behind him, I think it would be silly not to at least put him in the WrestleMania match in the semi-main event, and uh, I still think that Kofi's gonna win. So I'm trying to figure out how they're gonna book three faces to win. Maybe Brock beats Seth. Who knows?
yeah. Um, I'm yeah, I'm not sure. I think they're gonna give it to Brian. I think Brian is gonna win this. I don't think they'll
I just think there's too much momentum behind Kofi. It would be like if Daniel Bryan lost to Batista that in WrestleMania 30.
yeah,
It,
but then you have two other Daniel Bryans and Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins.
well, metaphorical kind. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but and right now Becky's bigger than all of them. So if you're gonna put a priority, you put it with Becky Lynch, in my opinion.
I agree with that, but
Yeah.
when has Vince ever done what we wanted him to do? Except for the Daniel Bryan thing, when we kind of forced him into it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The next match that I'd like to talk about is the Triple H Batista rivalry, and
Oh God.
I just find Batista entertaining as hell. Like he's garbage on that mic, but I find it so entertaining.
I've always loved Batista. I never like that whole Batista period. I knew he was just doing his job, and he was doing his job well. If you are a bad guy, it is your job to get people pissed off at you.
But he
That's the
came in
name
as
of
a
the
baby
game.
face, so
I'm
he,
talking about after that when he
yeah.
switched. Like when they turned on him, he took perfect advantage of it. He ran with it. He didn't try to fight it.
But it was,
But the like the office, they tried to fight it. Batista didn't try to fight it. He wanted to be heel before that. It was the
yeah.
office making him do that.
He just came in at the worst possible time.
Right. Yeah, timing. Bingo.
Yeah. Well, back to the timing topic. Um,
Yep.
yeah,
It's all.
and
Coleco was right. It all goes back to timing. It really does. Because like this Kofi Kingston thing, it could have been Mustafa Ali. It could have been someone else for
it
all
could have
we
been
know.
Kevin Owens too.
Say again. I'm sorry.
Could
You
have been
broke up.
Kevin Owens.
It it was supposed to be Kevin Owens. Exactly.
Yeah. It could have been Hornswoggle for all we have known.
Or
Uh,
maybe Mr. T and his mama.
damn. Uh, okay. Back to Batista.
Yeah.
He's uh, this was a really good time as we keep talking about timing for him. And like you said, I've never not liked Batista. Like in his initial 2002 to 2010 run. Yeah, I was part of the Batista because I wanted Daniel Bryan. Hun,
Right. I understand that.
but yeah, he was never really good on the mic to begin with. He wasn't known for solid promos. He was more known for solid matches.
Right. Yeah, that's true. He never was like a promo guy by himself. That's why they put him with Evolution in the beginning to help his promo skills. That's why they had him with Ric Flair for what 3 years? The first 3 years he was on the main roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Rick was helping him with his promo skills and stuff like that. But once he got a whole the hang of it, right now Batista's really good on the mic, man. He's really good. He's not at all what he used to be, in my opinion.
I'm glad that you think that, but I don't think he's that good on the mic, and that what
He's an
makes him
actor.
good.
He had to get better.
As well, when Michael Cole asked him, "Why don't you like Triple H?" Well, I just don't like him. That that's just
I
hilarious to
know.
me.
And it made me laugh too. But you gotta put it in perspective. You don't know what is them and what is Vince because most of it's scripted. They don't
Yeah.
say like you got yeah. So I'm very reticent to like shit on a certain wrestler for something they say because I know a lot of the things they say are dictated by Vince.
Well, what did you think of "Give Me What I Want"?
I think it makes for a very funny meme.
Do you
Yeah, it
remember?
was.
Do you remember when he attacked Rey Mysterio and he used to say, "You were supposed to be my friend"?
Yeah, but that was more. That was more like personal, and it felt more real. This feels more like the "Give me what I want," like like a little kid kind of.
Well, no, I'm just saying that,
The way they had him, yeah, the way they had him say it, the way they had him,
I'm just saying
yeah.
that we have these. That always sticks out in my mind. You were supposed to be my friend, son. And
No, I thought that was good actually.
no, I'm saying it stuck with me, which I guess is a good thing because I enjoyed. It's just those little things Batista used to do that makes him a lasting character.
I was just gonna say, then that means he's done his job correctly. If he can ingrain what he's done in your brain, he's done his job right.
Exactly. That being said, Triple H, it kind of feels like he lost all sense of how to do a promo. It seems like it's just like, as you said, copy and paste. Say bad things about this person, try and correct this person. I'm gonna
Right.
come out in jeans and a little jacket, and then you know I'm the wrestler Triple H and not business Triple H.
It makes zero sense. I stopped trying to make sense out of WWE 5 years ago, man. When honestly, when at WrestleMania, when Triple H beat Sting, I was like, how the hell does that make any sense on God's green planet? Sting, the icon, the only time he's at WrestleMania, and you have him lose to someone who's not even an active roster wrestler. I, I don't know what to say. It just befuddled me.
If
And
you
so
want
since
if you want
yes,
to talk about Triple H going up against WCW, I encourage you to watch the whole Triple H's whole 2003 2004 run.
oh, I've seen it. I've seen them all. And that, but going back real quick, that was the reason behind it. When I watched it, I got pissed when I was watching it. I got pissed because, and it's so true. The winners create the history. Like they are the narrative of the history. They can change history to what they want it to be. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
that's what they did with yeah, that's what they did. And that's why Triple H won to shit on WCW, and it really angered me, man. But
I think it angered a
and since
lot of
then
people.
right, oh it did, yeah. But I was just gonna say real quick, and since then, uh, I I haven't been trying to make sense out of WWE storylines because most of them don't make sense.
yeah, just going back to like the Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch,
Right.
storyline,
Where
it just going swerve after swerve after swerve.
right, where they're just calling audibles basically on the
Yeah.
fly. Yeah.
Hey, uh, Charlotte came made it to SmackDown tonight, so why don't we give her the belt?
Wait a second. Uh, Charlotte. Why is Charlotte in this match, Vince? But that's a good point. Let's put the title on her tonight. It's basically like that.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, that's the mind of Vince for you, man.
One thing we didn't talk about was that they possibly unified the women's championship into one. You see that happening?
Okay. I've got to watch how I talk here because I have I have some information that I cannot disclose at this moment because I've given my word and they would never trust me again if I did. So I
Oh,
gotta watch what I say, you
why
know.
do you make? Why do you say things like that?
Because I gotta word it right, or I'll get in trouble.
All right, word
What?
it.
What? Okay, so can you repeat the question? Because I got.
Do you think that they're going to unify the Raw and Women's
Okay.
championships?
All right. I yeah. I at first I did think that, and um, but I know for well, okay. I'm pretty sure that they won't though. I'm trying to figure out how to reword this. From certain things that I know, that's not their plans. They still want to have some like separation in terms of the brand split. So I, but I guess the only reason for Charlotte to have that is for it to make sense for her to be in the triple threat. That's the only thing I can think of right now. Because as of right now, that's not their plans.
Yeah,
But it should. I mean, it should be. They should, in my opinion, they should unify the women's title. They should unify the tag team titles, uh, and have them on both shows. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Kind of like they
Well,
did back in
you
the
heard
day.
it. You heard it here first. Mitch thinks they should unify the women's championships. He actually knows what they're gonna do, but he won't tell us.
Oh, I kind of did. If you read in the lines, I just gotta watch how I say things certain times.
Yeah, just hound him on Twitter and he'll probably crack next week. Hashtag,
That was the only thing. Yeah. Anything else I could talk about?
yeah. Uh, Another rivalry we could touch on, the AJ Styles Randy Orton, which is pretty cool at this point.
Yeah, and I know this is a match that AJ requested.
Uh,
AJ's wanted this match for a while.
really?
Yeah. Randy was. I think he was the second guy on the like so-called list right when AJ came in the WWE, and then Jericho got involved, and then he just got pushed down the line. But yeah, they've been. I know AJ's been wanting. I don't know much about. Not many people know much about what Randy thinks because he keeps to himself. He's really good at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, but this match, I really think it's gonna, if not steal the show, it's gonna be one of those moments where everyone is glued to their TV. I really do. I think it's gonna surprise a lot of people, even though it doesn't have a real big storyline behind it.
It doesn't, but I think what has been said and has been done for this storyline has been well done so far.
Um, in like you said, in WWE terms, yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's so much more they could do with that. So much more. I thought of ideas like while watching it. I was like, why don't they do this? Why don't they do that?
Oh
But
my god, if we had to talk about what they should have done, what they could have done, we'd be
we'll be
here
on
for
air.
5 hours. It'd be
I was
longer than
gonna say
WrestleMania
5 years.
itself.
I was gonna say 5 years, but yeah.
Yeah.
We'd be here till until we both grew gray hair, dude. Yeah. That's literally a subject that could fuel podcasts for years to come, like the
Yeah.
Monday Night Wars did. Yeah, but
Next
uh,
rivalry.
but real quick to for me to close the door on that. I'm looking forward to that match more than others are, though. The AJ and Randy Orton, I really am.
I think
So
that's potentially a show stealer.
a sleeper, yeah, the sleeper match. Yep.
Yeah. Next match, Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins. I kind of feel this is unfair to Seth because he should have been the main event of WrestleMania. He's earned that position in my opinion. But
Hmm.
he has such a bad rivalry. There is literally no rivalry here between Brock and Seth that they really would have no choice but to put it lower on the card. You kind of know what I'm saying?
Oh, I absolutely know what you're saying. They only have honestly. But so the Kofi Bryan, Becky Lynch, and Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda, and then you got little stories in the back, but nothing significant that leads up with the big matches, the other big matches.
Yeah.
So except those matches, you don't have much of a storyline explaining what's why the match is happening, etc.
It's kind of like what you said. It's copy and paste of a Brock Lesnar storyline. Exactly the same thing.
Yeah, in fact, like the build up to it reminds me of the second Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar WrestleMania match, where um, like he actually had momentum behind, like people wanted to see Roman win that time, and that's where I think I want Seth to win, but especially with Kofi and Becky, I think, and it's horrible, but I think Brock's gonna come out on top, keep the belt, and make it even worse in terms of the belt never being on TV. I hope I'm wrong, but something just tells me
If
that because
they,
yeah, because
yeah, like,
we've expected Brock to lose at WrestleMania every year since WrestleMania 31. You know,
yeah,
yeah. So insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome.
yeah. And, if they should unify any belt, it should be the WWE and Universal belt because the Universal is like snake bit.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that because, excuse me, you could position the Universal title with like if you were to ever bring back, like I don't know what, like if they're ever going to consolidate everything in terms of like SmackDown and Raw and bring both sides back together like they did.
Yeah,
But that title, whether there's a roster split for it or not, I think it needs to stay. It has connotations like right in between. There was a level like upper main event that wasn't kind of covered by a title, where you had the Intercontinental title and then you jump up to the World title. And I think with the Universal, there's a belt like, I mean, like literally right underneath the World title, way above the Intercontinental title. So it's still a world title, but it's not the WWE title, but barely, if you get what I'm saying. Like it's still positioned as a main title, and
yeah.
I think they need to keep that, and that's something that's going to be a WWE staple for a long time.
It just sucks that like Seth is like the hottest male superstar, and he's coming off what he deserves, a really hot run, a championship match, and he's just not getting the rivalry he deserves. But that's just
Well,
anybody that wrestles Brock Lesnar at this point.
at this point, I mean, I would be fine. I would be okay with Hornswoggle taking the belt off of Brock Lesnar. We need we need anyone to take it off of him so that the belt is not disgraced by not being highlighted on television. Out of sight, out of mind. If the
Yeah,
belt's not highlighted, no one's gonna give a shit, and that's where we're at. No one cares about it anymore.
yeah, and
And and that was a belt. I mean, Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart, Steve Austin. These people made that belt out of their blood, sweat, and tears. And for it to fall to where it is, it's a crying shame.
You're absolutely right about that. And Brock Lesnar is a big enough attraction on himself to not need
Yeah,
that belt to hold.
but he's too selfish as a person and a character.
Does he want the belt? Brock doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would want the
I'll,
belt.
I'll tell you, he wants the money, and the belt. With the belt comes the money. He wants the money. That's all he cares about.
Yeah, you're right about
He
that.
doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't care about anything else. Really, he don't. If it was just the belt, no, he wouldn't give two shits about it.
Yeah, that sucks.
But
Next,
yeah, he wasn't like he was a football player that I mean yeah he was a amateur wrestler but he wanted to be a football player. You know they kind of had to get him to because he had the body of a wrestler. They had to
yeah,
get he wasn't someone like me or someone else who like dreamed of wrestling their whole life. You know what I mean?
yeah, you're absolutely right about that. It's just a job to him.
Mhm. Mhm.
The next
Absolutely.
match is Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. This has
Oof.
potential to be a pretty good match, I think, in my mind.
And this has the first okay uh, I got I'll say that next. But this is the opportunity to make a star in Drew McIntyre. They need to pull the trigger now. They have the opportunity. If they let Roman walk over Drew, they're gonna lose their opportunity at making Drew McIntyre a star, in my opinion. He has enough
You're,
momentum.
yeah, you're right. After this, if he goes into a
Pull the
program
trigger.
with Seth Rollins
Yeah.
for the Universal Championship, that's just money there.
Oh, all day. And we have not seen the best of Drew McIntyre yet. There's a lot still there to be unlocked in terms of potential. And him, so he's up there with like a guy like Cesaro and a few others that I think if all they need is an opportunity and they'll shine and they'll be one of the new superstars of WWE, kind of like Becky. Becky was sitting there; she had it all along. She just needed a chance, an opportunity.
Yeah. And
So,
I think that Vince always saw that opportunity in McIntyre. Uh,
oh yeah,
yeah,
uh,
and he's just waiting for that right moment. And I think you're absolutely right. This is the right moment.
real quick. It's funny you said that. I don't know if you recall, but when McIntyre first came in to WWE, he looked nothing like he does now.
No,
Skinny. No, I mean completely different. He
he's
was much
ripped
more.
now.
Yeah, I don't want to get it. Like you can't naturally do that. There's just no way, and especially in the time frame that he did. Because after one man band, he still was that skinny. And then when you saw him next on Impact, he started getting bigger. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's each person their own, you know. So, but yeah, that wasn't it.
He's on that Jinder Mahal
But
diet.
pretty much, but yeah. And they got fired about the same time, and it was about the same timeline, pretty much.
Yeah.
Drew was just more low key on it and better wrestler, and he made a name for himself on the independents with Impact. You know,
Yeah.
after his yeah, and then yeah, before this run. But I'm sorry, what I was getting to was, do you remember when Vince back in the day used to like to say, and here's Drew McIntyre, the future World Wrestling Federation champion. He used to always call him future World Wrestling Federation champion.
He was the chosen one.
The chosen, there you go, the chosen one. But he also did say he's the future champion.
Yes,
Then he
he
said
did.
it. Yeah. So yeah, it's just full circle. It's interesting to see it come full.
I kind of find it funny that McIntyre was like, "I challenge you to a match at WrestleMania, but I hope you don't accept it for your family's sake." Like, how does
Like
that
I
make
said,
sense?
I gave up making sense out of the current storylines 5 years ago.
Yeah.
They don't make sense. And just Bruce Pritchard coming in ain't gonna change that. It's gonna take a time. It's gonna take some time.
Yeah.
And in terms of like switching, like there's people that are very highly qualified to do it. They just need to be in the right position, like Jeremy Borash, and right now he's working in NXT. Um, but yeah, it's just about the creative quality of who's booking the storylines and stuff like that. And Vince has got to wake up because if he doesn't, AEW is gonna take the alternative, in terms of like making things matter. For like, why are these two or three? How many people are in the ring? Why are they in the ring? What's behind it? And why does the outcome matter? Why are we watching? That's what you have to lay out before any match ever happens, in my opinion.
And I think I see Vince making some effort to change because he did bring in Pritchard and Jarrett and Dana Warrior, so he does feels that danger.
Well, Bruce is an old yeah man. He's an old friend, and Bruce kind of. I mean, he might disagree with him, but he disagrees like in a way, like, well, Vince, like he never tells it to him, like, hey,
Yeah,
Vince. He never like, yeah, he never like tells it to him straight in a curse. Sometimes you got to be stern with a person to get your point over, not be mean to the person, but just to get your point over. And
yeah,
so, right, and so I think it more of the people like Jeremy Borash who are down lower, they need to be brought up before I think we're going to see a real change in the storylines, in my opinion. And I think it's going to have to come with. I think Vince is going to see the AEW thing, and he's going to crap his pants a little bit and get nervous. And then I think he'll finally go to Triple H and other people and say, "Help me," in terms of like, you guys might have a better uh, idea of what the pulse of wrestling, what wrestling fans want, because Vince is out of. He doesn't even realize he's he is completely um,
out of
he's stuck
touch.
in the old age. Yeah,
Yeah,
because he even said that he doesn't like someone asked him, "How long do you see yourself running WWE?" And he said, "For the foreseeable future, there will be unless I die, something like that."
yeah.
So he's a very stubborn man. We all know this,
I
and
don't
so it's
see
gonna have
him ever stepping down. I think he'll die calling that last match out of Gorilla.
right. But if if the product's going to change, he the people calling the storylines and the creative people need to change. The people around him need to change, and he can do that. And when it gets desperate enough in terms of the money is what speaks to Vince. When the money starts getting affected even worse than it is now, that's when he'll start making the changes.
Yeah. The next match is Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor. What do you think? Are we going to finally see the demon?
It's about damn time. Like that's a storyline they've dropped. Like why why is the Demon King important? Why does he come out against Baron Corbin but not Brock Lesnar? That makes zero sense, you
Yeah,
know. So so that whole mystic kind of storyline has been destroyed for him, unfortunately. But it would be awesome to see it, even though that storyline's been destroyed. It'd be nice to see it, whether it happens or not. I see. Um, let's see. I want Finn to win, but I'm seeing a lot of faces who have momentum behind them. So depending on how many faces win, I don't know. I want Finn to win, but something tells me he might go with Lashley because he likes the big guys.
yeah.
So,
This is
but
the
I'm rooting for Finn, and I'm sure it's going to be a good match.
as good as Bobby Lashley can perform.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Bobby's not what he used to be at all, and even back then he wasn't the greatest. but 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 he is that big man who gives it like you believe it, like you believe that big man can whoop your ass. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that's what the most I'm talking about, like the optics. That's what Vince goes by.
yeah,
Yeah. So the big man or the little man, that's why he's so fixated on that stuff, which I
yeah.
wish he would get off of it.
Next match, Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. This is Samoa Joe's
Uh
first WrestleMania match in like what 4 years being in
if
the
they
company,
don't right. Yeah, because he's been injured at every other mania since he's been in the company.
and he
Yep.
wasn't even booked for one.
Which is an outright crime in my opinion.
Yeah,
And real quick, about my thoughts on this or what I want to see, and I honestly think Ray agrees. This is the time to get Smojo over. This is the time to show him as the badass that he is. To like just ragdoll Ray. And I know like Ray's a legend, but Ray also knows like that Joe is a serious, serious superstar just waiting to be given the ball.
It feels like
And
everybody knows that Samoa Joe is this huge
oh yeah,
star, except Vince
yeah,
McMahon.
no, Vince knows it. It's kind of like it's hard to explain. It's like fighting against like if someone's stubborn and you see like the sky, it's blue, and there's just this stubborn guy going, no, but it's green. I mean, at a certain point, you got to stop arguing with the guy and just say, okay, yeah, whatever you think, man. You know what I mean? Because they're
Yeah.
persistent. They will never give up. So it's kind of like that in a way.
Uh, yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Because like you say that Rey Mysterio knows that Samoa Joe's a big star, but
I know
Ray's
for a fact.
also been like one of those guys that has that kind of mentality of John Cena, where he usually
Mm,
wins at the end of
no,
the rivalry.
no. In fact, Ray is one of the most, in my opinion, he's one of the most giving people in wrestling in terms of not only his body, but like helping the next or the younger guy, helping the younger guys get up and come up
Personally,
to
I
the
think he
level.
takes more than he gives because he did kill a guy in the ring.
But that wasn't his fault. Yeah, I know that wasn't it, but that wasn't.
That
It has
wasn't his
nothing to
fault.
do
It
with
was a
he takes back
619. He
more.
killed a
He takes.
motherfucker.
I just now it just now clicked with me. He takes more than he gives because he took his life. Oh my god, that's horrible. That's horrible, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was unfortunate, man. But no, Ray really is like he truly is giving, and I don't see Ray winning this match. I see Ray wanting to lose this match to Samoa Joe. I really do.
Hopefully he will.
I'm almost sure of it.
And his Ray's son Dominic's been coming around uh
Oh
recently.
yeah, this yeah.
That's really interesting because I remember the rivalry between Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio for Dominic's custody. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's like Dominic might get in the business. There's a bunch of second and third generation stars that are just
Yeah,
either in the indies or just getting started. Like uh, David or Finley's son, David
yeah,
Finley, and Brian Pillman Jr. I could go on and on. There's just so many,
yeah.
and
Like the first time he came, I was like, okay, just wanted to show his son, but like he's been coming, so it kind of fits senses like there's a rivalry there.
yeah, yeah,
And I'm just throwing this out there. If Dominic betrays Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania, that wouldn't suck.
that that would be awesome. That would be a storyline at least. That would be something, right? Shit. At this point, I'd take anything.
Yeah. Next match, The Miz versus Shane
But
McMahon. Falls count anywhere.
but real quick, I hear really good things in terms of Dominic's future for his like getting in the business in the future. But
So
okay, yeah,
he's cutting his teeth.
yeah, he won. Yeah, as far as I know, he either has or is training. I'm not for sure, like currently as we speak, but I do know he has trained and has intentions to get into the business. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Uh, the Miz and Shane McMahon rivalry, that's been going on the longest. This has been going on since November.
Well, they were a team. The rivalry only happened at Fastlane. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, like they were laying the foundation since Survivor Series.
Yeah, but it doesn't that make for a better, what, the only really storyline that's was months in advance.
Yeah, if it made any sense, you make Shane McMahon the best in the world. Only time I finally started saying to myself, okay, I kind of see where like this makes sense is when Shane turned heel. Before that, when he was face, I was like, this makes no sense whatsoever. Because if Shane wins, in my opinion, if Shane wins, he needs to be the biggest dick in the world and say, see, I'm the best in the world. And Like just like own up the fact that he's his dad's son, that he can get anything he want. I mean, he can be hated so easily if he acts like that. You know what I mean? Like his shit doesn't stink, kind of thing.
Again, we could be here for 5 years just talking about what they can do or could have done.
Yeah, oh yeah, we can. But use your mind.
Next match, Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin. This is
Oh no.
yeah, sorry, it's happening unfortunately.
Well, they might throw an audible at WrestleMania and Cena walks out, and that's what I'm hoping for.
I think everybody's kind of hoping for that at this point.
Yeah, but
Like I'm a Cena
I
hater, and like yes, give us John Cena.
I
Hustle,
know,
loyalty,
right?
respect.
You don't realize what you got until it's gone, my friend. I'm telling
But
you.
I've never been a big
Same thing
Baron
with
Corbin
Roman.
fan to begin with.
It's kind of same thing with Roman. You don't know what you got till it's gone. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I've never been a big fan of Baron Corbin. I've always thought he has a crap personality. He can't work well in the ring, and to give him this monumental match is just a slap in the face to Kurt Angle.
Okay. Full disclosure. In NXT, I kind of liked him. Don't tell anyone, please.
Oh,
But okay.
I want
But
everybody to tweet
okay,
hate
yeah,
mail
that
to
was
Mitch.
right. That was NXT. Okay. Butler, but now the Butler Baron Corbin, who is shaped bald headed and wears a goofy looking vest instead of wrestling attire to the ring, which I don't get that either, because he's
No,
not the damn GM anymore.
nope, he
Why,
ain't.
why doesn't he wear attire, right?
Yeah,
But yeah. So yeah, this
I could
guy, I
accept
don't.
him
This is not the
wrestling.
Baron.
I
This is
could
not the
accept
Baron
him.
Corbin I like.
I could accept him wrestling in the suit, but he had really long, nice hair. Why not get somebody to shave that off? Have a hair to hair
Actually,
match.
yeah, they should. They could have, right? I know. If WWE only thought of storylines, right? I know you're preaching to the choir, bro. But no, actually, his hairline was receding. To be honest, it was receding really hard,
But
and
so was
so
Kurt Angle's in 2002, and they still had
eh,
a hair
doesn't mean
versus
it
hair
looked
match.
good. Doesn't mean it looked good. They and didn't they have a hair match? Yeah, they had a hair match
Yeah,
pretty soon after that. Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, back when they had people around that did storylines, right? Yeah,
yeah,
before they got rid of them, all them in favor of like 30 yes men to just say yes men.
yes,
That's pretty much what they got now,
yep.
which is
Give us what we
unfortunate.
want. That being
Yeah,
said,
Batista too. Give us what we got, Vince.
give me what I want. That being said, we will wrap it up here. And
Yeah.
hopefully next
Um.
week, Coleco will make it to WrestleMania, and we could actually have him on the show from uh, his hotel room or wherever he's staying.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Real quick before we go, can I? I've been holding on to a little bit of news. Can I, real quickly,
Yeah, of course.
share that here? Okay. Uh, and this is by no means in stone. This is just scuttlebutt. But it's strong. It's strong enough for me to have noticed it and think that it's a possibility. I don't know if anyone's been hearing about the rumors about Goldust and his WWE contract. I
Yeah,
don't know the truth. I don't want to get into like the contract aspect of it. Whether it's, I mean, like, and we know Goldust. He went on Twitter and he said, don't believe anything, everything you hear. Um, if you watch Being the Elite, there's an Easter egg where Cody's talking about his opponent and talking about his attire for the opponent for the match with whoever he's wrestling, and the seamstress who's making his clothing asks him, "Okay, now in regards to your opponent, should we stick with the gold in your costume or should we get rid of it?" If,
ooh,
if yeah,
yeah,
and with these, and when what I'm hearing backstage is that maybe Goldust made that tweet of no, it's not true to throw people off. So we might be seeing Cody versus Goldust or Dustin Runnels, Dustin Rhodes, whatever, at Double or Nothing. That would be awesome.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, for the AEW Championship.
No, I think that's gonna be Hangman and Pac.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. That's already been announced for Hangman and Pac.
yeah.
But
Well, that's
Pac
another show
having
for another time.
Pac's having these issues.
Yeah. So, once again, hopefully we could get Coleco on the show next week. If we can't, he'll be here in 2 weeks. Like, because WrestleMania is just that damn long this year.
It's WrestleMania season, baby. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know what? It's worth it. It's the show of the Immortals. I'm looking forward to it regardless.
If you like the show, please like, subscribe, comment. If you like comment on what you like, comment on what you didn't like. We might take that into consideration. Mitch, you actually do Twitter. Why don't you give the great people your Twitter account?
Yeah, you can message me at Mitch Mayhem X on Twitter.
What about your Facebook?
Facebook, I'm going to be getting right now. I don't want to share my personal Facebook, so I'll be putting up a Facebook for the a public Facebook pretty
Yeah,
soon, and I'll give you that address for that next week.
that's soon to be revealed.
Yes.
Until then, I'm James J. He's Mitch Mayhem, and this is Wrestling Wit Entertainment.
Entertainment.